Hello everyone, this will be a video in English. I thought about writing on my blog in English, or I don't know, just to post a text online, but I think it wouldn't be enough. Probably people wouldn't see it or read it all the way through, so I'm just going with the video. And also because I wanted to make this video in English so people who are kind of thinking about going with me to Japan or hanging out with me in Japan to know how I would talk in English. So I'm not proficient enough, but I think we can get along. And the whole point of this video is actually to talk about my next trip. So my next trip will be in August. I will go with a group of people from Portugal. And again, my camera is a mess, sorry. And the whole point is to do a tour, having in mind that our goals are low budget and getting to know Japan pretty deeply. So it's like merging into the Japanese culture, hanging out with my Japanese friends, going with them to the places they recommend, and having an overall experience that kind of surpasses the tourist experience in itself, because we will be tourists, we are tourists, but we will be able to get pretty close to what is the standard of living of the Japanese and how they behave, where they go to have lunch, where they go. Even accommodation, it will be pretty much recommendations from my Japanese friends or places I have been myself in the past. And the overall theme is to know Japan from within and not necessarily like covering all the checklist of all the touristic spots, like postcard picture kind of places, because that's not me. And on this trip I would also like to cover the issue of the more international or diverse Japan. Like Japan somehow has this whole culture of uniqueness and being homogeneous and just one thing, which is not. And because my background is Japanese studies and the study, more importantly, the study of arts and culture in Japan and throughout the history of Japan, and getting to know how Japanese identity was created and how it is shifting and how it is constantly dealing with its own diversity. And that's something that I'm very passionate about, and that's something I can share with you and we can have a discussion about and learn together and enjoy together. So those other aspects of Japan is diverse history or places in which diversity and otherness played a big part in Japanese history are my main subjects. Therefore, I would also plan to go to a particular area, which is the area of Nagasaki Prefecture, some places within Nagasaki Prefecture, besides the more common places of Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, Himeji Castle, and so on, which is also included on my plan, my trip. So I would like to open the chance for other people, not necessarily Portuguese speaking people, to get into this trip, or maybe a second trip, I don't know. The plan of this trip and the dates that are settled already start on August 21st, which is a Wednesday, in Tokyo. And we will stay in Tokyo 3 nights. And I plan to include on this time in Tokyo also, it's something that it was not included in the first plan, but now that I have that contact and now that I have had that experience, I've established contact with Chado school, so tea ceremony school. And this is a school that is a traditional school, so to speak, like all Chado, all traditional tea ceremony schools have this kind of events in which they are also open to the general public. So besides the Japanese or foreigners who regularly go there in order to learn the tea ceremony as a long process throughout their lives, there are also these kinds of events in which you can book like an afternoon or a morning or a couple of hours, and you can join a specific event. And that is the kind of experience they usually do. But because I do have a connection there, because they are somehow connected to me and Portugal and the schools I've been teaching here, and I am able to book an experience in a tea ceremony school. It's not a tea ceremony establishment, it's a school in which the masters of tea ceremony go to become masters of tea ceremony. So I can book an experience there in which we will witness how to create wagashi, which are the traditional Japanese sweets, and also, of course, the whole process of the tea ceremony, which is about 1 hour and a half, 2 hours. And then we will have a chat with at least 2 or 3, if it's available, 3 generations of masters of tea ceremony, and the younger ones, the ones that are still learning. And the overall experience is very friendly because this is their house, they actually live there, it's a family. And the overall experience is just delightful. I loved it. I completely loved it. And I want to share that with you. So that's an extra thing that I plan to put in here. I don't know how, because we already have a lot of things to do in Tokyo, 3 days. And one of them is the incoming day. So it's like half a day and we're kind of dead because of the flight. But anyway, I really want to go there again. And that's definitely included. And then we will go to Kamakura, because Kamakura we do have to go there to see the Daibutsu, the great Buddha of Kamakura. And also I believe that Kamakura gives you an overall sense of what you can find once you go beyond Tokyo, which is a good way to start our actual trip in Japan. And I will not reveal everything in this video. I will just briefly set the tone of what we will do. And then we will go to the area of Mount Fuji. I will not reveal where we will go. We will go to the area of Mount Fuji, and we will also be able to have a great view of Mount Fuji. But most of all, I would like to show people how the landscape and what is the role of Fuji in Japanese culture and in the mindset of the Japanese, what it all means. So yeah, big time, deep depth of understanding of Japanese culture through Mount Fuji as like an archetype or a symbol of Japanese culture. And then we'll go to Kyoto. In Kyoto, of course, if you are into traditional Japanese culture, in Kyoto you'll have a blast, basically. But Kyoto is very easy. It's very easy for you to lose sight of what you want to do, because Kyoto is so much towards tourism right now. It's like you have the real city and you have the gems within the city, and then you have some of those gems completely spoiled by tourism exploitation, and you have other places that are somewhat manageable for you to go. But most of Kyoto is very tiring because you have a lot of people in the same place queuing for everything. So in Kyoto, my main point would be skip the places in which you will be so bored and wait for the ticket and just, you know, overwhelmed with the quantity of tourists and the noise and everything else. Skip those places, even if it means to skip some important landmarks in Kyoto, and go to the places I am more comfortable being, and I guess other people will be too, which are the places that you can really grasp the traditional Kyoto and not be in a sea of people. Like, you can still find that, and I'll try to navigate towards that. So yeah, a couple of museums, a couple of temples, and a particular experience related to a certain area where geishas used to have a very important role in Kyoto culture. and meeting people. Oh gosh, I have so many great, amazing, creative friends in Kyoto I want you to meet. And I think we will still be able to book some of the things they are available to do, like cooking skills and maybe some arts and crafts. Yeah, because those are their expertise. Anyway, after Kyoto, which will be really fun, if we stay out of the crazy wave of tourists that is right now in the city, we will go to Osaka. And in Osaka, most people think Osaka doesn't have anything to see or to do, which is a complete nonsense. Osaka has some of the most interesting educational facilities I've seen in Japan in order to get to know Japanese culture, which is largely ignored, and I have no idea why. But anyway, we will visit those cities, and also, of course, one of two of the main touristic spots, but I'm not very keen on that, as you have realized already. So some of these educational facilities, museums and alike, but not the sense of boring Western deadly kind of place museum, like more in the sense of this is an amazing place and we can really get the sense of Japanese identity and issues and societal issues and taboos, and you can dive into that universe that is Japanese culture and history and society. And I think Osaka has some of the best places to do that. And after that, we will go to Himeji, which is my absolute favorite Japanese castle. Himeji is World Heritage by UNESCO. Himeji is a great, beautiful castle in a very tiny city, and it's wonderfully located, meaning that you get off in Himeji station, you have one street and the castle on the top of the street. You see the castle from the main gate of the station, and then you just go there. And the ticket is affordable, and you can also see, together with the castle, a set of, I don't know how many of them, 10, 12, something like that, historical gardens, which are wonderfully preserved. And it's a really great tour to do from Osaka, or Kyoto, by the way, but Osaka is even better to do, and we will do that. And also, it's, by the way, there are only 12 original, authentic medieval castles in Japan, and Himeji is one of them. Osaka is not, by the way, but Himeji is. And then we will go back to Osaka, and then we will get on a plane. Why, you say? Because it's a lot cheaper than going by Shinkansen. And I plan to go on a low-cost plane to Nagasaki from Kansai or Itami. I think Kansai, because Kansai has Peach, which is a low-cost from Kansai airport, and they fly to Nagasaki. Of course, you also have like JAL and ANA flights, but those are slightly more expensive, and I recommend Peach, which is a Japanese low-cost. Like Ryanair, but better. And I think, and my plan is to go to Nagasaki and then visit the places I am very fond of, because Nagasaki is like my city in Japan, my home in Japan. And it's not only Nagasaki city, it's places in Nagasaki prefecture as well. So Omura, Shimabara, Peninsula, and other places that allow us to understand the specific mindset of Western, Southern Kyushu and the history of Japan that happened there, which is very interesting, very complex, very intricate, and not very easy to digest, but that's precisely what I like about it. So I want to share that with you. And even if you are not that much into the history of foreign affairs of Japan, the beginning of the shogunate, Tokugawa shogunate, and missionaries in Christianity in Japan, which is more or less a big chunk of this part we will spend in Nagasaki prefecture. If you're not very much into that, I can also recommend you other things to do in Nagasaki, which are really, really fun. So you don't really have to hang on with me all the time. So that's the other thing about this tour. It's like once you join the tour, of course, the booking of the hotels or whatever we will stay, which will be very low cost oriented. The booking, in order for me to manage the booking, everyone has to, arrive and depart to a specific city at a specific time. But the overall experience, you can have it with me, you can hang out with me, or you can go do your thing. It's like if you go to sleep to the same place and wake up in the morning at the time we arrange to leave, that's fine. You can have your own time and you can have your own experience as well. Very, very flexible. So I'm not a travel agent. I do not have a company. This is not, I'm not selling the trip or anything. This is not a business. I am a researcher of Japanese studies and I want to share this with you. So I arranged this plan in order for a collective of people with the same mindset to travel together, but to travel together not as in through a travel agent. No, I want to skip that. So the only thing I need is for people to tell me, oh, I like that idea. I like to go with someone that knows Japan, knows what she, in this case me, wants to do. I know what I want to do. I know what I want to show you. I know what I want to share. And I'm very comfortable with other people. I will speak in Portuguese and Spanish and English. And of course Japanese when I need to interact with Japanese. And the whole point is for us to travel together, share, be flexible, be friendly, be open to be in Japan with the Japanese, experiencing Japan, like not in a sense of owning things or running after the picture or something, but actually be there. Because one of the things that I'm most uncomfortable with is being in the company of people that are talking all the time of their other trips or other places, or comparing that to their own culture, or being very judgmental. Each place, its culture, it's their own, and they know. And we are there to find out, and we are there to be open to new experiences and be kind to each other, and sometimes compromise, but compromise if it is in order for us to be kind and enjoy our time and enjoy other people. So if you do want to go, the trip starts in Japan 21 of August, finishes Nagasaki September 2nd. And there is the option, because I'm also working with a company in Japan, which is called Wonder Trunk. And they basically design tours for off the map parts of Japan. So I designed with them a tour in Goto Islands, which is a place that most Japanese people don't even know where it is. And I designed a tour for them in Goto Islands that starts in September 2nd. So if you join this tour, you can immediately go to the other one, which are 2 additional days in Goto Islands. And we go straight through from Nagasaki to Goto. So, and all the budget, meaning like the plan of what you are expect to spend with accommodation and traveling, and the flight from Osaka to Nagasaki and back, and entrance fees and so on. So pretty much the only thing that is not included in this expected budget are the foods you're going to consume and eventually the gifts you're going to buy. So all of this for all this time will be less than 2,000 euros. And I guess that we can say dollars because it's pretty much the same. But it will be less than 2,000 euros. So this is an expected spending. It's like what I think you will spend with this, because I will not receive money from you in order to buy these things from you and have my fee. This is not how it works. We are all travelers traveling together, and we will pay for our own expenses. And all the travelers that want to go with me and enjoy me as their leader will pay a percentage of my own expenses, but at the time when they're there. So, if you want to join, that's what's on the table, and I'm very happy to be able to show you Japan and maybe make some more friends with similar tastes, which is also good because we do have to talk about these kinds of things we love and care about, and sometimes it's kind of hard to find people to do so. So, yeah. Contact me, say something, because this is going to happen in August, and yeah, I need to set the group and clear the dates and know who's coming and who's not. Hugs and kisses to everyone. Nice to meet you, nice to talk to you. I'm looking forward to go to Japan with you.